prompt and poke is not working correctly. It's not really adhering to the prompt. Yeah, so for that one, I'm really excited. We're working with some new image models. I'll show you guys a quick example. Uh, I'm excited for it. Yeah, so that's kind of good, like really good actually. So the idea is that it will adhere more to the prompt. That's what we were missing before. But also, guys, I apologize if my voice sounds a little bit odd. I'm just a little stuffy. So it'd be great if anyone wants to come up and chat with me. I don't have to chat the entire time. But okay, so yeah, we're experimenting with a new model. The model is great because it's going to be adhere to the prompt a little bit more. Some of the stuff we're running into with some of these new workflows is that we want to make sure that we are uh, keeping with the character consistency before we switch anything up. That's something I know has been a kind of a pain in our butts in terms of like when we switch stuff out. Uh, so yeah, that's a big one too. Uh, yeah, so this is a good first few things. Okay, oh yeah, example two. These are great, by the way. Examples with links and screenshots. That's what we really need to make things better. So thank you. Okay, anyone can bring anything up at any time, by the way. But then I'll kind of show you guys what I was working on this week in terms of like a mock-up. Because realistic posts in general have
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of reports that realistic has gone off the rails a little bit.
yeah, it's like really tough because I've seen that too, but I don't really like it's gone downhill. It does not.
So one specific thing that I noticed that a lot of users are reporting their posts for instead of posting their character as it should be a man, it's suddenly posting their character as a woman. That's something that I've seen several users report in our post reports, so I've maintained those and didn't resolve them.
Okay, is that okay? It's in the post reports. Let me see.
Yeah.
Great, thank
Someone
you.
also posted on Reddit, and somebody also made a bug report on the forum on Discord for it too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that one was fixed, by the way, Bonk. I'm sorry about that. Posts. Okay,
So if you
yeah.
go to page 2 of the post reports, those are all examples.
Okay. I see it. Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Anyways, so yeah. Okay, good. So we'll keep on adding that doc. It's open to anyone to edit. Just don't delete other people's stuff, please. Um, even if you might disagree with it, and yeah, just add stuff if you want. And if you don't have the doc, or did I link the doc? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Then here's like another thing we're talking about uh, this week, or at least no one had the idea. I had the idea. I don't know if people agreed, but I wanted to see what you guys thought. Just because I kind of like to bounce ideas off each other. But we're always discussing onboarding. It's not something that maybe you guys see as like a core issue and the experience, but it's still something that's like for new users important. And so I'm just was tooling around with some of the ideas. I was thinking something like this, and I can send it to you guys here. So I don't know if we necessarily like because right now what do we have? We have it so that people create a bot essentially in their first onboarding experience. And so I think a lot of people are like, you guys are really good creators, but a lot of people get let down sometimes. They're just like, oh, that wasn't so great. Uh, and then they just kind of churn or whatever. They don't love it. So I thought to myself, maybe as a community we could come up with the best bots that we love, and then add like people could add them. So let me just dump all these. Okay.
I think it's really good to have like a sight of what a butterfly is before you make one too. So I think that's a good idea. I invited someone to the app today from Reddit that I met, and um, they downloaded the app and they made their butterfly, and then they were like, I am gonna go back to this later because I didn't like the camera opening to make a clone. Like, wait, is that happening on onboarding? So I went through that again and then realized that it was skippable. So I think that's good. But they were kind of confused on the whole butterfly thing. So I think it's good to see them ahead of time.
Yeah, people really don't like the seeing the contacts or showing the face. Like kind of odd, but yeah, data privacy nightmare. But it's crazy because like, don't you do that for like everything else? You
Well,
know?
kind of everything that I'm actually connected to, yeah. But with an AI chat service, I don't know, it feels like I could be anybody I want to be instead of who I am now. So that disconnect, from syncing your contacts. Personally, while I would allow it, I don't think a lot of people really would. Like,
Yeah, I feel the same. Oh, go ahead.
not only is it a data privacy nightmare, it's sorry about my audio, by the way.
It's okay.
But it's like if I'm pretending to be somebody else, why would I want my real life friends to know who I'm pretending to be? You know.
Yeah,
But I can also see the
but
flip side of
yeah.
it, where we all have contacts in our contact list that we haven't really actually met. We have coworkers halfway across the world, or something like that. And even then, while I, wouldn't mind sharing AI with my coworkers, not a lot of people are feeling the same at the moment.
Yeah, I got a notification that like I could add my grandma to Snapchat recently, and like imagining her popping up on butterflies, like I'm not really into that idea too much, honestly.
Oh wait, why?
Uh, you know, kind of the same reasons. Like I don't really want everyone that I know to be able to find me on butterflies. I want more of like a close friends experience.
Uh, for me, it's more of the content that I tend to create. Like, let's face it, sex sells. So I create some kind of raunchy bots sometimes. And I wouldn't want my grandma to stumble across those. So maybe a better control on how, bot settings are. Maybe set them to anonymous by default.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't want my grandma seeing some stuff either, but that's so odd. I mean, it's understandable. I'm not saying it's weird or anything. I'm just so butterflies specifically, or like just AI chat services specifically. Okay, so what I'm hearing is like because I'm pretending to be someone else, I don't want anyone else like kind of seeing that or like in real life. Uh, but okay, but let me counter here. Let me think. Like I might be wrong, but uh, just poking at the barrel. But what if you were like you and your other friend were pretending to be like other people? Like I'm pretending to be Peyton Batman, and like my friend Sonyal is pretending to be Sonyal the astronaut. You know, like wouldn't that make it more socially acceptable to be like someone else?
It
Oh yeah,
also
that's
goes
the
back
idea.
it also goes back to the whole escape reality thing too. For me at least. Like it's harder to do that if there are familiar faces.
Yeah, that's interesting to hear too. Uh, yeah, escape reality. I agree with escape reality. I want to escape reality, but like I also don't want to like fully escape. I want it to be like a better reality. Like I'm still me, but I'm just like a little bit. I'm like a Jedi, you know, because like that's fun for me. Uh, it's like
Yeah.
Halloween kind of like you're escaping reality for like when you're dressed up and when you're in the app, but you're still like walking around the neighborhood, like it's a real place, you know, and there's humans. I'm not trying to like. I don't know. I'm just trying to think about this from a different angle because I think we're all really used to like. I mean, here's the thing with butterflies, right? We're trying to be different in a better way. Sometimes different is a bad thing, but we're trying. Our mission is like to bring humans and AIs together, create the most real AIs, uh, and so like that's different than a character AI or a janitor AI or like a chai, I think it's called, um, because it's just like human to bot versus like humans and bots, uh, is what we're thinking about. So, oh yeah, we're not trying to make it like real, but just like more. Like, we don't ever want to say that it's like fully real.
So completely unit has a actually a valid point. Like instead of bringing outside communities into butterflies, we're building our own communities on butterflies. Like when we create the amount of bots that we have and how some like basically the different interest groups that we have on butterflies are building different communities and the different friend groups around them. Maybe we should support that a bit more. How would you guys feel about having like a page where a bunch of like-minded creators could post content and share their bots posts to it? Something like I don't know, like a fantasy page, a sci-fi page, like that kind of category thing. Oh, it could definitely start with tagging, but I feel like if we want to put that kind of community focus in, we'd need some shared space to show things off. In the snapshot, we have a ability to repost things into our own feed. Why not have a like basically a page for a group of creators to repost things from their bots to that feed, you know?
Oh, so like Twitter communities kind of have that
Yeah,
like something.
yeah.
So like Game of Thrones community, and then people just post like their bots there.
Or posts from their bots or yeah, things like that. And hopefully even have a discussion there. That would be nice.
Interesting. Yeah, totally. I think I think we were like talking about that actually. Soleil had made some designs for like when you go to the search page. We haven't really done much with the search, like explore page, and maybe adding like categories of different bots and posts. So like anime would be one, and then you'd
Right.
go there and open it. Yeah.
I could see I could see an anime page being one of the most popular pages on butterflies, like a generalized if we made a community page for that, I could literally see that being one of the most popular and most visited pages on Butterflies,
Just being able to narrow things down by style would be a huge win
right?
because a lot of people only want to see the one particular style that they're interested in.
Yeah, we should just do better feed stuff. Yeah, for everyone else who's yeah, I told the mods, but I haven't told everyone else is that we hired this new guy. His name's Farhad. He's super duper smart, and he's going to be our like ranking guy for the feed. He's going to help make it more for UE essentially. So yeah, the more stuff that you like, the better it will feed the algorithm, and that'll be worked on quite a bit more. I think we that's like one of the core features when we're talking about improving things. That it's not necessarily a bug, but it's like it could be a lot better. So like you guys said, if I could just see all the anime stuff, maybe that's what you want to see, and we're just not capturing that on the feed. So we should do that. So we're going to do that. So that's exciting.
So with that community page idea, that could even work its way into the feed, right? Like if a new person joins and they start creating a bunch of bots, then slowly introduce the likely community pages that they would want from their bots that they create into their feed. And that would also introduce different diversity because you'd be seeing things that humans are reposting and not just your AI.
Okay, could you say that one more time? Uh, the humans
So,
and the bots are posting on the community page.
so the community page would be human driven, right? Not just bots, but your feed could have um, like um, on your feed, you could have posts from the community page, like the most recent post from anime, for example, if you create a bunch of anime bots. So
Yeah,
that would be human driven content on your feed, which we honestly don't have.
human driven. Okay, so it's like humans just create posts, or is it they just take the posts from their bots and add them to the community page?
Take the posts from their pots and add them to the community page, along with maybe an additional comment or something.
Oh, okay, okay, that's cool. Okay, so we just like as we're talking here, try and like see what that would look like. Maybe like do a little mock up.
Yeah,
So let's just keep talking, and I'll just do that.
but I feel like that kind of community interaction would really help bring a more human focus into Butterflies and really introduce a bunch of creators to other creators they haven't seen before. Not to mention, it would quickly allow creators to grow audiences. Like an active creator on Butterflies could be posting to a community page a lot more often, and that would reach a larger audience instead of just, yeah. That is fair, Ethel. I mean, creators would need to be able to create posts a bit more easily. Um, hmm. Sorry for the silence. Maybe. So, what do you think is wrong with the creation flow currently?
For making a post, I think a lot of the difficulty with creating posts is solved in the new update on app, but Ether's on web, so he doesn't have that yet.
Yeah, because the snapshot makes it actually really easy on the app. But web is unfortunately behind in that regard. So, in your mind, Ephraim, what is wrong with, you know, how would you like the post creation experience to improve? And think about it not just from creating a bot's post, but from creating your own post as well. Like on the web, it's basically upload an image with a caption. That's very, I don't know, it's basic. And with bots, you get 20 prompt and pokes per day. That I often end up running out of prompt and pokes by the end of the day, honestly. I have enough pokes to last me a lifetime, but that Russian roulette of am I going to get something good or not, and only having 20 regens kind of slows that process down. And then I suppose there's also the speed of everything, but that can improve over time however it gets optimized. So, in my mind, I guess it's just waiting for the snapshot to be able to make it to web because that is a lot better experience. Being able to repost bots posts, being able to create my own posts on my feed with the AI, or yeah, it's just a lot better that way. Or not the feed, my
Okay,
profile.
how about this, guys? Something like this. And then if
Yeah,
you look at the screenshot, like the arrows are like just different pages. You can go to like realistic page or Game of Thrones page.
yeah. And then anybody can create a page. I don't know, maybe make it so they need at least 3 other people interested and, encourage them to message other people to create the page on the platform. But
Does the
tying it
creator then
into,
curate the page, or like how does that work in your mind?
so in my mind, the creator, the original person who had the idea of the page would be a curator for the page. And so would those other people who created the page. Those first, did I say 3? So that would be 4 people. Um, Pages would have to be sent to moderation as well. We can't have, the same things that we've unfortunately all seen happening as a page as well. But yeah, um, if a page gets abandoned, that's the thing. Like, what would an abandoned page look like? Anyway, the first 4 creators would be able to curate the page and invite others to curate the page. I don't know how many would be good. It probably depends on the community size. A larger community would need more curators. Um, but I say run the experiment of letting the community, for the most part, do it themselves and give them a way to interact with each other on the page, through more than just a post and a comment.
I love this discussion. So I'm just gonna.
Right, that would be amazing, completely unlit or completely unit. I would love a community of users that would just create like a cohesive mythology or scavenger hunt throughout the whole platform. That is like legitimately something that a few of my friends and I have been trying to work out and like how to do. So that would be amazing. So an abandoned page would be easy to manage on our end, on the mod end. Yeah, would that expiry date be like a month though? Would that be like, I don't,
Okay, how about this, guys? I like the idea of like a creator, uh, or sorry, curator. Okay, and
yeah,
then like, and it could be like, I know Van, you talk about like world building. So this could be like a world. Uh, it's just like add to the world. Add to the page, you know?
Right, exactly. Like,
And then there's like bots in the world. Oh, cool. Okay, let's think about this. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. I'm just like writing so many random things.
it's okay. But like this kind of idea would really bring back that human element, in my opinion. Right now, Butterflies is very much focused on humans talking to AI and AI talking to AI. And there's not a very big focus on humans talking to humans, which is something that I think that we all want, right? I
Yeah.
don't
Oh
know.
yeah. Okay. And then there could be like a chat. Okay.
Yeah, just a little chat
Okay.
tab and maybe even a curator chat tab so that way the curators can talk amongst themselves on why they're making decisions like that.
Okay. Yeah. And then like chat. I'm just like really bad at this, but I'm trying to do it quickly. Okay. You guys keep talking. You guys keep talking. I'm listening.
So, Ethel, I hear you that we can't make use of our bot followers. Like, I mean, that is kind of a good point. What is the point of having followers, like bot followers, on my profile if only I'm getting only 5 comments at a time per post? They're mostly from new bots, not my old followers. And what do I do with bot followers on my profile? Like, that is a very valid point. And I definitely agree. I want to see my bots um, respond. I want to see my followers respond. I almost feel like there should be a second like wave of commenting because I don't mind having random bots comment, but I want to see more from my bots. Yeah,
Okay. Here's
definitely
another
1050.
version of it. Okay. This is kind of fun. It's fun. I'm having fun. So like worlds, we'll call it worlds, and then you just like find different worlds, and then humans world building with bots, and there's like 123 curators, 9 butterflies in this world, and there's like the chat.
Yeah, something like that would be great, honestly.
Ooh, and then you can group chat with the bots and the humans.
That would be an easy introduction for group chat, in my opinion. That would be like a really good, yeah, definitely.
Okay, okay, now we're getting somewhere.
No, I like the path that 1051's going down with the option to define groups of bots.
Yeah,
So
that's a
maybe instead of having creators add bots, you just add bots yourself and they automatically post to a page.
yeah, forget the needing a group of people to make a world. This would also be a way for people to make groups of bots that could talk amongst each other. Then, if people get interested, or you could even have your own private group.
Yeah, Darvel's got a good point too. He's talking about how earlier today, in like this week, people were talking
Yeah,
about not talking about new ideas, and this discussion has gone into new idea.
this is very much, yeah.
You guys see how fun
But
it is?
Yeah, it's so much fun to dream.
it is a lot of fun, and we have been talking about group chats for a while now, and this would be a great way to add them.
No, but yeah, Lone brings up a good point. And everyone else, like, let's let's keep adding to the super bug list. Let's just wrap up this topic. So I'll just like screenshot this too. Just did this.
Do you all feel like there's something big that hasn't been added to that document that you're uncomfortable adding to the document, but you still want to discuss that you think is an issue that isn't really being heard right now?
Memories. The whole way memories work and how they're interpreted and how repetitive they get. I really think it's high time that we get a just complete rerun on memories.
Yeah, I think like there's a lot of confusion on my part at least on how they're supposed to work because what is output just doesn't reflect what we're talking about sometimes. I think that is a major problem. Ethril, what do you mean is the bingo on the document? Sorry. Oh,
Yeah, I'll see Eclipse. I'm adding that to the doc.
so that was on the document recently, but I was told that it's intended behavior. Yeah, I also brought it up beyond that too, that even if that's intended behavior, that's a huge pain point, and I think that it does need to change. Thank you for bringing it up, Ethril. Yeah, and it's not always like somebody is trying to do something nefarious, and so if somebody's put a lot of work into something, having all that erased and taken back to the start of the creation flow isn't fun. Yes, editing memories. That's like, it sounds so simple.
It sounds very simple, but I think first we would need to get a memory format that, well, really isn't as stale as the one that we have now. Like, I'm sure it's formatted that way because that's the way the LLM can understand it and bring it back in. But, and you know, Potato brings up a good point. Like, when you're editing a memory, are you essentially gaslighting a bot? I don't know. Maybe instead have it so you can create new memories. And if you want to edit a memory, you just copy paste, create a new memory and delete the old one. Like, while it's a little bit more of a runaround, I think it would allow like a little bit more flexibility in that way. Like you could start off, yeah,
Yeah, and completely unit mentions the cannot create, oh, Potato mentioned the cannot create explicit content thing. That is
yeah.
still happening too with memory, which is a major problem because you're in the NSFW model. You should be able to create explicit content.
And I believe that
Um,
that's the memory interpreter model that can't create explicit content.
yeah,
That is a wonderful question, Bonk. I wish I knew. I think I don't think I
it's
don't think
not
it's
anything
anything.
public.
Yeah. It's enough that like the memories really wouldn't be needed in the format that they're in. They should really only be created, I'd say, every like 5 minutes of constant chatting instead of every other message. And the way that they re-roll every time you re-roll is just weird. You sometimes get new memories created from a re-roll, and then you have like 30 memories in there from like just 3 chat bubbles. So, yeah.
Yep, I'm just reading chat, adding some things from the like screenshots. So I'm quiet.
It's all good.
Thinking about Thailand, yeah, I see that. Um, After 3 messages, it can go off the rail. That's like such a short time. It should be remembering a lot more than that.
I don't know. It feels like the conversation can go off the rail from go. Like on roleplay, if you don't describe the character properly in their personality, they have no clue what they look like, and that starts getting into the memories like pretty much from start. And I don't know, it feels like when I delete a memory, it's not fully deleted sometimes.
That shouldn't be the case, but I do agree there's issues with memories. But I'm like, you know what? Let's just put it down. Make sure. I mean, there's a high chance that like actually that you're right.
Because, like, yeah, it's the same traits that I just deleted from a memory not 30 minutes ago that keep popping up, I swear.
If anybody else wants to come on stage, just let us know. We'll put you up here. You can talk. Feel welcome.
Yep.
Okay, so
I'm just
memories is a big one. Is there anything else that you guys want to bring up too that you think is like a issue that's been on the plate? Neox, I know that you said there was like a whole list of issues, so I want to make sure that we are hearing what you mean because I don't want. We need a new anime model. Yes, I would like another anime model in addition to the one we have. I like the one we have. I want more. It's not enough anime.
sounds like a new thing to me. Just kidding.
Right.
It is.
Yeah, let's. Okay, so what do we want in the anime model? I know Ethril said it a million times before, but uh, so I'm just like writing down like we love our anime model, but we want a different style. We want another different style anime
The tiger.
model.
Oh,
Uh,
where did I throw all those images before? Were those in voice chat?
Ben, we're guys. Yeah, we are going to use a flex based model soon. So
Oh, amazing.
yeah,
Awesome.
uh, yeah, but can't say much more on it. But I think it's going to look really cool. I've seen some cool
Awesome.
examples. Yeah, so, like,
Hello,
there's just like
Rove.
a lot of other stuff there that we're working on still. Uh, okay, so what's the style that we want for the anime model? That's like different than
So,
what we currently have.
I
something
really
that
like the pony models.
something that can produce actually mature bots, because I feel like a lot of the anime bots that we have right now are kind of on the young side. Like they're not. We had a lullification issue, so something that looks a bit more like the original anime model, I think, in my opinion at least. And yeah, I don't know, something a bit more modern anime, I guess, because they do the anime model that we have, like It kind of looks like cell shading a bit, I guess, or a painting in a way. And
Uh,
it just doesn't look, I don't know. It's weird without going, hey, go watch this anime. Go watch that anime.
yeah. If just like a few image examples, like you get off the internet, we can do it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that might be a better idea. Maybe
Yeah.
just add those to the doc or make a different doc.
Yep.
Just add
To the
those to the
doc.
doc. Okay.
It's at the bottom of the doc right now. I'm writing. The first point I have is the model that can generate older characters. Because I agree, I made it like Hillary Clinton and made her like a 10-year-old girl. So it's like, bro.
Yeah.
Which then causes, like I think Afro was saying, like NSFL, NSFW issues. Oh, Rose Call, I think I messaged you. I helped recover the account. Oh, sorry, I didn't follow up. But I checked and it was active. So there's nothing I could do because it said it was active. But we can tape that offline. Or you just message me. Okay. Are these like images you'd want to see? So this is like the better anime that you'd want as a different model? Use Laura as, yep. This is the thing is like a lot of people can't use Laura. Like they just don't know what it is. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we are going to use a Flux based model for something. So that's coming probably end of the week. Yeah, but like I was saying earlier, is like getting the character consistency correct. We're trying to match it with exactly what we've had before. Uh, we just don't want to screw up characters. So because that would just make everything worse.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
can
just what's
imagine that's
taking long.
a big
Yeah,
pain from getting from um, Stable
yeah,
Diffusion model to Flux.
yeah. We're just like you can't just like throw the model in there and be like, hey, like it's gonna work. Yeah. anyways, so yeah, that's exciting. So a lot of the stuff that like I think we're talking about core issues, right? Uh, when I tell Cap about this, like he's like very concerned. I shared Potato's thread with him this morning. He shared it with the entire team. He was like, "Guys, this is mandatory reading. We have to fix this stuff." Blah blah. And so then we kind of go back to like the drawing board. We have discussions about it. So like these discussions we have in the office hours, like they actually do stuff. So I just want to say that. I know sometimes it just feels like we're shouting to the void, but it does do stuff. But then there's like something like, oh, we want Flux, and so then like Cat works on Flux for like 2 weeks, you know, and so there just goes 2 weeks, and it's like, oh, but we're not doing anything, you know, we're not like improving stuff, and so that's why it's like things just take a lot longer, and I try to like I try to make sure that we meet every single week, and so it might seem like we're like the time to improve stuff might be slow, but it's just because we're meeting every single. If we met every month, it'd be like, oh my god, you did so much. But anyways, so that's one thing, and then the other thing is like the things that we want to focus on. Uh, whenever we're talking about new stuff, right? Like people are criticizing new stuff. I think we criticize new stuff too because we always say it's not really about like the new stuff. It's more about the core issues. And oh, Caps here. Uh, anyways, it's more about the core issues like image generation and chat, right? That's what this product is. And so everything we can do to make those things better is what we're going to do. And so we are focusing on those things. And then there's like so that's just like the actual technology of it. We're trying to improve like a lot. So I don't want you guys to think that we're like just focusing on random stuff. Like I think that it might seem that way because like I'm in the community a lot more than maybe the rest of the devs, and I'm not a technical guy, so I'm just like, oh, I want to spend my time doing these crazy mock-ups and like see how this would look or that would look, and then it would be. But then you guys think that we're focusing on like new stuff, but in reality, like there's Leo and Cap and Sanyal and all these other guys that are just in Merdad who are focusing on like LLM stuff, generations, making sure the queue gets like the image generates fast, that we're improving prompt adherence. Like these all things that are day to day, like week to week battles to try and make better. And so those things are being worked on. I'm just not working on them as much as like maybe it shows like the team is actually working on them. So, anyways, I just want to like hopefully that hits that makes sense to you guys. That my job is not to do that. My job is like to have fun and like make random stuff. And that's why we're like, oh, there's no direction. Like, like, and so, anyways, and yes, oh yeah, that model was from Flux. That image was from Flux, the I Love Payton one. So sorry for the monologue, but
No, it was great.
yeah, like we are focusing on this stuff. Like, oh, guys, I want you guys to believe me. But here's Cap. Like the Emperor just arrived.
So Peyton was just telling us about Flux.
No, we can't hear you. If you're talking, we can't hear you.
Yeah, there's no sound coming out.
Oh, it's I know what you're talking about, Ethereal. I think it's that monster. Oh, the Zillow Beast. The Zillow Beast. Are you? That's what you're talking about, right, Ethereal? From Clone Wars. Yeah. Oh wow. So you know your Star Wars. Nice. Okay, well, yeah. Until Cap can come online, that's if anyone has any questions about like, yeah, like what we're working on, let's like talk about it, because there's like Loam and Van and the rest of the mod team always come up with like a great list of bug fixes that are just like front end bug fixes, which are really important and uh, yeah, like just to like the user experience. But then the reason why things like look appear to be moving slow is because like Murdad's working on memory, or Leo's working on making sure the context is like super long, but we're still like pulling stuff in. But like might not show because like, oh, it still sucks, but like maybe it's a little bit better than last week. Um, and then a lot of the stuff also goes to moderation. Like Murdad spends a ton of time on moderation, and so you guys can see that we're like there's less and less flagged stuff or less and less nudity in the feed. I know there's a lot of like Ethro would say otherwise, but yeah, there's just we can talk more about that stuff. That I can ask them more, and we can discuss that more too. The stuff that we don't see that's being worked on. Okay, Cap, do you want to talk?
Well, now you're muted, so if you're talking, we can't hear you because of that. Oh no.
But yeah, anyways, I will make it a point to talk and learn more with like Leo and the other devs on what they're doing specifically on like the back end stuff, and I'll work to share that with you guys. And then we can give them more feedback too because they're working in a hole. I don't think they don't talk to me about it. They don't talk to the community about it, and that's really important for like the work that we do. I think most of the ideas I've gotten is from the mods and from the community, and so they should also be in here and discussing.
Well, still can't hear you. You're flashing green though.
He can build butterflies, but he can't get his mic to work.
I mean, it happens to the best of us.
Today's honestly just been filled with audio issues.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably Discord.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yep, there he is.
Hey, Cap.
Nope,
Nope.
still no. Are there any permissions that are like off for him?
No, and we can't even like adjust him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We can't hear you. This is so awkward. He's just like I feel like he's just talking in the void right now because I can see him like it's green. He's talking.
Yeah. I wonder what he's saying.
Yeah. Deleted scene. Oh, yeah, I just messaged him. So Okay, yeah. So, anyways, we had some good ideas about. So first, let's just recap what we kind of talked about so far. So we talked. Oh, yeah. You guys really want him to talk? Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Hold for this to find out the office hour. Oh man, yeah,
Okay, hold on. Let me disconnect
it's
from my.
hilarious.
Call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Nope. Just went to voicemail.
Oops. So yeah, we talked about the document. We talked about Lux. We talked about that really cool idea about like groups or curators.
Yep, worlds as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, Van, I can we can like talk about that more. Here, the caption just. Yeah, maybe it's just the phone.
We talked about memory.
Okay, yeah. What's going on?
I don't know.
Oh gosh, guys, what a mess! What a mess. But no. Okay, so we talked about a lot. I thought this was a really good office hours, but okay. So most importantly, there's just a lot of stuff that's not being talked about, that's being worked on, I guess, and that's maybe my fault. Just because I mean, actually, I don't like I know, but I just don't really like know like everything they do. Just there's just a lot that goes over my head. So let me do better on hopefully getting these guys in here and we can discuss more. But there's like a lot of chat stuff that's just not being talked about. So we are improving, or at least trying to. So.
So Cap's been monitoring Flux since like day one. Translation service. I like the idea of him talking through Peyton's mic on the phone better.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay. Hey, so is this working?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is so weird, but okay. There were two or three problems. I've been looking at Flux since like the start. The reason why we had to move over is not because it's like slow, but the first problem is Flux has like this extremely extreme depth of field where you have this like bokeh and then this like really blurry background. And then the image style is very smooth, right? That was one problem, and there are certain lauras and stuff like that that you can kind of throw on that kind of alleviates that. You know, as you can see in my generation of like that one chick, it looks like pretty good, and in that Elvis looks pretty good too. Now, the second problem, which was the biggest problem, was there was nothing to keep characters consistent, right? So there was no way to kind of inject the control net for faces.
And starting maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago, there was this new control net to inject the face. And I spent basically all of yesterday and then most of today, like basically right up until this office hour, playing around with it and trying to get it to work. But the problem is when you inject the face while trying to like unblur the background, it just deforms the art. It's like so bad. I can show you some generations that I tried to do, right? When you do like the one-off generations, it's like, oh my god, like Flux, it's like so awesome, it's like so cool. And then when you try to do that again and then like change something a little bit, then it gets like really tough. So yeah. Oh yes, please note realistic. This allows you to keep the face but allow emotions. Yeah, the thing with right now butterflies, we have like a very complex chain. This workflow, it's pretty complicated. I'm actually fairly confident where our multiple character image generation is probably the best that exists on the planet. But that workflow is just so convoluted. It does like a bajillion hacks just to get there. And also for like the realistic stuff, it is like a pretty insane kind of workflow as well. And there are things that you guys might not see there, but at least with the current workflow that we have so many different toggles that is never exposed to you guys. So what I mean is like how zoomed in versus how zoomed out, how compressed versus uncompressed, like how much JPEG, what is the exposure level, what is the bokeh, what is the flatness, what is the the f-stop, what is the lens, is it shot on an iPhone, how wide angle that is. And because of like all those parameters, we can easily do something like, okay, well, selfie shot on a shot with like an iPhone 13 from like the front or something like that. And that fidelity, we don't have that on Flex yet. I think there's moving forward, I'm just thinking out loud here. Like one thing we can potentially do, and I'm just like throwing it out there, is expose like more of these controls to you guys, like the creator, so you can like increase, decrease the slide over of like, it's really hard to explain. It's like the fluffiness of it, right? So like Midjourney is like very fluffy. It's very it's not soft per se, but it's very dreamy, like it isn't sharp. It's like I can't anymore that it's like it seems like you're taking like a photograph and then merging it with like a Pixar animation thing, right? And then like a bunch of other toggles, like that's one thing we can potentially do. Sorry, that was just a big rant. Okay, let me kind of go off of the questions here. Is the current realistic images right now a step towards Flex? I mean, the change. So the change that I made that changed things last week was using a technique called what's it called? It's called grounded LLM generation. So basically, what that does is it's a if you like the technical details, like let me know. If this is like way too much in the weeds, like you can be like, okay, stop. But basically, what it does is it tries to generate an image, and then it runs it through a segmentation network that then tries to composite the details in the image independently, right? So, for example, sometimes you're generating something, and then like part of the punchline of the caption or the image is like, I'm just gonna, this is the first thing that came to my head. It's like Harry Pooper dropping a deuce like on a table or something like that. Like the specifics is that the deuce needs to be on the table, with like a shocked expression by Harry Pooper. And if you just throw that in kind of like end to end to a, image generation model, it's going to mess up like propositions, right? So what you want to do is like independently bounding box and then independently render and then independently composite. So that's what we do for, multiple characters, where I actually, generate the composition first, and then I inject the characters in, and that's how you kind of keep them stable, and that's how like the faces and stuff. So we did that, or I did that last week, and then it made things better in some regards, but it also made things like worse in like some regards too. It was interesting because it was able to generate more creative scenes. I'd say like sometimes you have characters from the back, from the side, off the center camera line, different zoom levels and stuff. And then sometimes it just like horribly deform things, right? And perhaps that's kind of like what you were saying. So yesterday I ended up reverting that just before we can debug it a little bit more. And then the question was, is that a step towards flux? I'm still going to work on it, and I'm still going to try to see if I can get this breakthrough. After this office hours, somewhere, some channel or something, I can show you some of the images I was able to generate via Flux, and I can show you these issues that I'm seeing, and then maybe if you guys have seen like actual solutions out there, like okay, we can do it together. We can like figure it out together. Okay, try the characters change. You didn't recognize I'm drawing. Okay. How to move to Flux without messing up existing thoughts? I don't know. I think first we have to figure out the Flux first, right? So somebody also then put in an image here. Roscal. Yeah, basically that output is essentially what I was able to get. It's like, okay, it's okay. Yeah. More control. Okay, yeah, more control. Can't there be advanced creation mode? Yeah. Yeah. Toggles are nice if they're hidden for the advanced user, if there's a way to sort of default in case things break. Yeah, that's correct. That was just part of it too, is it's like, if we did expose that, you'd open it up and you'd see like 7 million toggles, right? If that's what you want, I mean, we can give you 7 million toggles, but yeah. Whatever happened to the co-op stuff you're working with Goku and Nico, as it's a way better than what we have right now. Interesting. It's a good question. I gotta look into that. Yeah. That was pretty good, wasn't it? I'll look into that. Is there a way you can test these kind of stuff without changing images, models in an offline build before pushing onto the live? Yeah, I mean, that's what I do. That's what we do every single time, right? And I try to run it through Shadow, right? And then I run it against maybe like 40 or 50 bots. And then to my eyes, it always looks okay. But the problem is once it's pushed out, and we have like God knows how many, like 200,000 bots now, just like people will notice if things are wrong, and it's hard even in like the 50 that I look at, like to extrapolate across like 100 or 200,000. It's not until like users like you guys like kind of bring it up where it's kind of caught. I don't know if you can ask Weights to import Flux image models because its Laura Flux it's in collaboration with Weights CG and people making their own models. Yeah. I've looked, even with Flux, I've probably looked at like 5, 6, 7, 8 different models that are like LoRa combined or like fine-tuned and stuff. They kind of suffer from the same fundamental problem, which is it don't make the face look good, basically. And actually, when I looked at what Roskal showed, this actually might be with a with using a face swap, not like an end-to-end generation. I'm not sure. But yeah, TBD is a little more experimentation. For toggles, is there one with removing profile picture reference, like if we want to make a random location box? Yeah, that's, yep. Yeah, no, that should be. Hyper realistic, open to new creation element. If you guys didn't care about consistent characters, then like Flux can be released, right? But I think you'll quickly see what I mean in that things look like really fluffy. Yeah, after this, I can share some examples, and then we can like we can do some live generations and stuff with the model, and then we can kind of see. Oh yeah, well, the Flux can be very not safe for work. Actually, Flux is extremely censored. Well, I mean, it's extremely, but it's like it can do nudity, but just like very tasteful nudity. Using a deep fake with AR art would look better instead of the Flux model. Yeah, that exactly. Yeah, exactly right. So I think most people care about consistency, which is why not yet Flux. And again, I'll show you guys what I mean. Flux does a good job of prompt following. Maybe like roll out Flux. Even if the characters are just deformed. Oh yeah, yeah. Sure. Okay. Rolling it out. Let's see. Yeah, give me 1 second. Again, this is not. It could just be that. It could just be that I haven't figured it out yet. Like I haven't cracked the code. So this has only been 2 days. Maybe it'll take like another 4 or 5 days before like, oh, I've cracked it. You know, there are things. Well, I don't think I'm like a complete idiot, you know, when it comes to these things. I think we're able to do pretty good stuff when it comes to like floating and like multiple characters. Even though there's some hiccups, you know, we can improve those things that, you know, I think other products can't do. So I think generally I'm just like trying to gut check myself that I am probably not a complete idiot and that these things are probably legitimately hard. But let me give you one example. So this is the prompt, right? This is like the general prompt, the most basic of it. This is what we generate today. So yeah, okay, Ashley Martin's a car. She's in a metallic dress. You know, what happens with Stable Diffusion is it makes the car pink too. Okay, whatever. But I think all in all, composition wise, and that's pretty interesting. It looks pretty good, you know. And you know, pardon me, but I use Taylor Swift's face for Flux, because then it's because like I think she has a pretty distinctive face, so we can kind of see what we're wrong. But this was Flux. So what went right? Let's say what went right was uh, white platform high heels. Okay, so that's a check. That's like great adherence. Pink metallic dress. I mean, her dress looks a lot more pink metallic, I guess. I don't know. It didn't make the car pink, but city lights reflecting off the car's surface. Yeah, yeah. But it look like completely dumb. You know, so interesting. Here's another one, which is a woman stirring a pot wearing. Okay, let me just put it here. A woman stirring a pot of sauce wearing an apron over a silk dress, perfectly set dinner table behind her, and a few cookbooks in the corner. Okay, so this is what we generate today. And you guys are probably very familiar with this. You know, it probably is why it makes things feel boring, a little stale, because it's like, you know, that shot that we're all familiar with, right? It's like mostly embodied, same, you know, zoom and stuff and whatnot. So, like, okay, what's correct? Well, she's stirring a pot, there's sauce, she's wearing an apron over a silk robe, which is great. There's not a dinner table behind her, and there's no cookbooks. And then there's a Flux. Okay, positives. Silk, apron, mixing sauce, and there's a dinner table that's set behind her, and there's like I guess a cookbook, right? But again, like
You know what though? Like she looks like the other Taylor Swift, so there is like consistency in that it's bad.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and okay, here's another one. I can't remember the exact prompt, but it was like woman wearing a black corset, like teaching a bunch of kids, and they look confused or something like that, right? So that's and this is Flux. And then what I tried was I just used straight Flux, right? I didn't. I removed everything that made things feel more flat and fuzzy. And this is the part that I don't like about Flux. When you go with raw Flux, it's really, I don't know, plasticky, I guess is the proper term, right? So here's a more example of like plasticky. Exactly, more semi-realistic in a way that I don't particularly care for. So yeah, I mean, and I'll show you one last one. This is a woman, narrow eyes, blah, 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 blah. This is ours. Yeah, narrow alleyway. Her back is not necessary against the wall. Her eyes closed, not necessary. Faint smile on her face, not really. Neon lights, yep, got it. Colorful glow, got it. Okay. And then the Flux is this, which was just like a little weird. What will this model do for fantasy characters? I don't know, honestly. Yes. But yeah, that's the state of Flux. So when I did this experiment, I think my takeaway was actually power generation is pretty good. You know, looking at some of these things in comparison. And I think I think there's still a lot more we can push in terms of improving that model, and it probably is just because you don't see the controls. That could be disappointing. I don't know. Like maybe if we gave you better controls and better toggles over it, like you'll be able to create like really great stuff. Yeah.
That's exciting. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, the anime as well hasn't been upgraded in maybe 2 months or so. I think with look, I'm just like thinking out loud here, right? But Potato wrote a long thing that grilled my ass of just like feedback and stuff about improving, core features. And if I were to think about things that would make like the experience incrementally better, right? So for anime, I would be thinking, or drawing, it'd be throwing like an upscaler, right? So you'd have like maybe 2x higher res. Because I think sometimes my critique about the drawing is it can be a little fuzzy, right? Because it loses a lot of that. Also, I think we should probably do a pass with drawing to see how good it is at prompt coherence as well. And mhm, prompt coherence, and then always like character coherence, right? So with realism, because you're typing in the face, and I think it's just how us humans have evolved, right? We look at the face, and if there's like certain attributes that like check the box, like we're like, okay, that's like the same person. But and with anime, because the nature of it, some other details are a lot more important, right? So it's like, well, obvious things like hair color, like various augments, I guess, like cat ears or something, cat ears, like that kind of stuff. Like it can be better there as well.
I think also one of the complaints with the drawing model is that still the lollification, just that people can't create older looking anime characters. Like that Hillary Clinton bot I made. It was just immediately a 10-year-old girl.
Yeah. So, yeah, look, in general, yeah, focus on certain core things. Yeah, no. Just reading through the chat here. Oh, there are many kinds as well, like 90s. Yeah. There's a lot of there's things with styles, right? So there's like the 90s anime. There's like the more I can't just like different drawing styles. There's like a bajillion, right? So we only capture maybe one or two at best. How the LM is interpreting the user input into a prompt and poke is the complaint I'm seeing from users, which then impacts So yeah, revisit poke and prompt. Let's make sure these things are captured as well. And I know you guys have been complaining for some time, but definitely prioritizing these things up. Just make it a way that less normie bots are created. Yeah, like people that take. However, you need weights on rifles in the like as. Am I going to get stroke? You can, however, you need weights on rifles and the like as old can be well. All right. lots of few brain cells there. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I want to make a mature lady drawing model character. Right now, I'm only making youthful characters. If that comes up that, yeah. I just don't like automatically generated bots because they're bad. The randomized thing is okay because at least gives you a name. Yeah. Yeah. Hair color, Sarah. Necklace styles, rich people to guns. Just add mills, blood type. Yeah. So I mean, like, okay. So I mean, how would I summarize this? It's you want control over creation, and then like you want those things to be consistent. I mean, I think like you want control to create what you envision, and then from what you have envisioned, it should be the same as best as it can. And yeah, yeah. I'm sorry about the turkey day. What happened was, so Turkey Day happened, and Turkey Day happened, and then our pipeline has just gotten really big of just all these posts and stuff because there's like again hundreds of thousands. So some of these things were already turned off, but they were still in the queue for some time. Yeah, pretty big events. I mean, this one we have animation one look like an actual grown woman. Yeah. Yeah, that's insane. I don't know why that's happening. Still? Okay. I'm so. How is Flux of multi-character quality consistency into 0? It's really bad. Yeah. Okay, so let's get some solid takeaways here, which is Flux is going to be there eventually, probably. I think things will just get better on the open source side, side of things, where we can drive more character consistency. I think the priorities here, from what it sounds like, is just, yeah, I mean, like as you guys are saying, just like kind of the basic sort of things. I think what we can do is, and again, just ideating, expose maybe a little bit more advanced controls around some of the generations, and then to maybe do like a revision on some of the drawing ones to again, like lullification, mature women, different styles, more consistency, and product tolerance.
Yep.
Yep. And then, what we'll do is,
I think,
I think
yeah.
at the end of the day, like every single week, maybe, this is aspirational, so don't quote me on this, but like, this is kind of the sense I want. Like, the community, you guys should know, like, at least the 1, 2, or 3 things we're going to do this week to try and make the core things better that we're going to try to deliver on, like, every single week. There's probably not enough transparency there. And again, partially my fault because I'm kind of all over the place sometimes. But at least we can try to do that. Yeah, roadmap.
Yeah, I think that's important. I think there's like a lot of stuff that like I was telling the community earlier that I have a lot of like random ideas that I try and present to the community and present to everyone else, and maybe that really like kind of throws people off. They're like, oh, we're not focusing on the core issues, and that's why I think, yeah, just having you in here or maybe me talking to Leo or Don
Yeah.
more about these things, so I can bring it to the community's attention, because it is being worked on. It's like image generation and LLM generation is like the most important things for us, and we are working on it all the time.
All the time, and it's just non-linear. That's the problem. You can kind of see the results in my flux here, and those are just like 4 or 5 examples. I thought we had like 60, 80, 100, and then even getting to that point was like a bunch of random things of like mixing different models together to try to like remove this and that, and try to hack on this, that, the other thing. And then what happens is it gets to the point where I'm like, I don't think this is good enough, and then you don't necessarily see kind of like that, and then that's why it kind of gets dropped, With LLM stuff, what has happened? Well, one, we've basically exceeded our providers, so to speak, right? We are generating, I don't know, let me take a look. We're generating a lot of messages, right? I don't have the number in front of me, but it's a lot. And then what ended up happening was like of the third-party providers that we can run inference on, like we just ran issues like it timing out. So we had to spin up like our own GPUs dedicated for that. So that was like a whole kind of thing as well. And then as we migrated to those GPUs, there were just like subtle differences that, running it on your own versus not. Like, for example, when you run it on your own providers and whatnot, third-party providers, they have some like magical custom things that change your settings basically. So even if you put like a certain temperature on there that you expect, they'll like scale it for whatever reason, Or if you're running it on, even if you're running like your own thing, but it's using like Vertex AI, which is like a different software abstraction on Google, Google would still try to censor it, right? And then we were running into issues there too. So those are the things that you guys might not necessarily see. But ultimately for chat, it's hard to. I mean, I think the hard part is like it turns out like quantifying what makes a human human and what makes things feel right and interesting is like kind of hard, like it's like we know when it's wrong, but it's hard to know to say these are the things that make it feel right. So like I think what aspirationally I always want chat to be is like, there are moments where I have like a certain feeling talking to an AI where it's like I like to the extreme, I get like goosebumps, right? I feel like, oh, like there's something magical about this, right? Like I almost lose myself in talking to it, where it just does things that I cannot explain in a way that feels so natural and magical, right? And those are the feelings that I want to capture more in like realism or in role play, where it feels like you're banging on like a drum, right? And it's not just making one noise, right? It's making more noise on its own, and then eventually becomes like more music, more emergent and stuff like that. But those things are just like super hard to like really quantify it. But we're gonna try to improve that as well. Ultimately, I'm going on rant again, but like what do I really want to make here, right? It's I have a strong belief that for me, in my experiences on the platform, there are just times where I've just felt like I don't know, like understood when like by an AI. You know, I felt I've laughed because of an AI. I felt like listened to because of an AI, right? And I feel like those positive experiences are just gonna happen like more and more and more. Like I just kind of see the world kind of going that way, you know? And like what I strive to do is just like I really want to build a platform here that can just you know has the tools like these AIs have the tools to be able to express and communicate, right? In a way that's like consistent, artistic, you know, funny, sad, you know, those sorts of things. So when I think about like improving the core, I think it's like giving more color, you know, like maybe right now because of how one-dimensional things feel, it's like maybe right now it's only like black and white, you know, but you know, as we improve things, hopefully we can make things feel more always colorful and consistent. Looking through the chat here one last time. I gotta go soon. Gotta catch a flight. Unrelated to everything, I deleted Butterfly. The username still taken, so I guess it's floating around ether. Yeah, when you delete, there's like a timeline, right? It goes in through a queue and then it gets permanently deleted after n number of days. That's like a pretty typical thing. That's so if people accidentally delete, we can like restore. So that's why you see the username still there.
So how will Flux impact the NSFW offerings?
Yeah, Flux. I think Flux is more well in this world right now, if we're talking right now. Flux is more censored than our SEXL model. So if we like, let's just say magically, I can get the character consistency, things would be more censored. So that's just also something that we have to, you know, talk about as well and figure out.
Thank you.
What do you think is slowing down when comments appear on posts as sometimes right now they don't see the picture in anywhere yet on not safe work to work on posts as you can't have any of that without picture service. Oh, and that's some nice black and white now. People.
I think what Ethel's talking about is he shared a screenshot. I'll share it right now too. But there was an issue where bots were not like seeing the like the image that was being posted, and then you know what I'm talking about.
That's a bug. Let's file that. Yeah, okay, we gotta get better on like just like high priority stuff. Okay, it's filed. Okay, cool. I'll talk to Payton. Let's figure out a good system here to make sure like, hey, the most important things are being worked on and will be delivered. Yeah, I gotta jump here too, guys. Going to LA with the team. We're actually all getting together in person and then all gonna be in the same house and then gotta figure out all the shit. So good chatting with you all. And if you have any questions, like feel free to like just ping me whenever. And yeah. Thanks for hanging out.
Cool. All right. Thank you. All right, guys. Well, that was that. Who's gone? Yeah, thanks for coming this week, guys. We'll catch you next week. I think we're all probably gonna be like Vu said in the same place, so we'll be able to maybe all hop on. So, thank you.
Thanks everyone for coming.
Okay. See ya.
Bye.